The premise of Avatar The Last Airbender is based on the existence of four natural elements. In the Avatar universe, or Avatar-verse, the world is divided into four separate nations based on four elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Within each of these nations, some unique people have supernatural bending abilities that allow them to manipulate their respective elements. The pilot episode of the series lays this premise outright from the beginning. But have you ever sat down and thought what these types of bending are based out of and analyzed these bending styles themselves? An article from Collider.com did just that. And in this video, we will be analyzing this article, digging deep into these four elements, bending types, and their subtypes. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you will have a further understanding of these. Let's start things off with airbending. In this article, it states that the air nomads, as the name implies, are nomadic and have four temples located around the world. As an extremely spiritual culture based loosely on Buddhist monks, including philosophies from both Tibetan and Hindu culture, it is no surprise that their element is air, existing always, but never in only one place. As a peaceful and monastic culture, the air nomads unfortunately fell prey to the Fire Nation's attack, which began the 100-Year War. Most of the nomads were wiped out, leaving only remnants of their culture to future generations post-war. As a perfect match to the nomads' peaceful and spiritual nature, airbending is based on the Baguazhang martial art style, which is similar to Tai Chi and linked to Taoism. The main thought behind airbending is the avoidance of resistance, much like the air itself. Airbenders have the ability to manipulate the air without and within. Some techniques include bending the air around their gliders so that they create the illusion of flying, and they can run as fast as the wind. Though contrary to its non-resistant nature, mainly, airbenders use the momentum and strength of their opponents against them if they are forced to engage in combat at all. Airbending can also be an offensive move, such as creating punches made from air but backed with force. Airbending was taught to humanity by the sky bison. Subtypes of airbending include the making of balls, tunnels, and funnels for air to pass through, including the childlike air scooter. Though airbending is featured the least in the original series, the sequel series, Legend of Korra, reintroduces the air nomads to the world. This reintroduction showcases the airbending subtypes, including flight without a glider. Once freed from earthly tethers, an airbender can become lighter than air and fly. This article continues with waterbending. The article states that the water tribe is based loosely on the indigenous Arctic cultures, like the Inuit, and that the water tribe is split into two factions, the North and the South, both at opposite poles. As a result, the Northern Water Tribe and the Southern Water Tribe live in icy, frozen climates where water is abundant. The concepts of family and empathy are essential to water tribe culture, making its ties to waterbending an important connection. Waterbending in Avatar The Last Airbender is based on the Tai Chi martial art, an elegant and flowing style that is in constant motion. This type of bending requires deep breathing and fluidity of the physical body and of the mind. At varying levels of skill, a waterbender can manipulate, freeze, unfreeze, and sharpen the water around them, making them a force to be reckoned with on the sea. Because natural forces like the tide are controlled by the moon, waterbenders are strongest when the moon is full, and waterbending was taught to humanity by the moon itself. Waterbenders can manipulate the water particles within the air, plants, and animals. Therefore, waterbending has an especially dark subtype. Considering that approximately 60% of the human body is made of water, a powerful enough waterbender, drawing from the full moon, can bend the blood in the bodies of themselves and others. Let's continue with earthbending. The Collider article states that the Earth Kingdom is loosely based on Imperial China and is the largest nation of the four, consisting of several colonies, clans, and cities, each one distinct. Being technically the strongest nation, the Earth Kingdom prides itself on its diversity, strength, and tradition. As a perfect match for the Earth Kingdom's diversity, earthbending comes in a wide range of styles, but it primarily bears a resemblance to the Chinese martial art Hung Ga. This martial arts style requires keeping a strong stance rooted to the ground. Earthbenders in Avatar have the ability to manipulate earth and rock, from large portions of mountain to the tiniest grain of sand, depending on the skill and style of the bender. Benders who rely more on power can cause the ground to rumble like an earthquake and move large boulders, while benders who focus on smaller objects can create armor made of rock and move the top layer of earth to knock an opponent off balance. Earthbending was taught to humanity by the badger moles. One earthbending subtype includes sandbending, the ability to manipulate smaller earth particles in desert sand. Another subtype is metal bending. Because metal is basically refined earth, it is possible to feel and find the bits of earth still trapped in the metal and bend those, making strong objects like prison cells, keys, tanks, ships, and armor susceptible to earth-bending manipulation. More patient benders are also capable of feeling movement through the earth's vibrations, which can be a huge advantage in places where vision is limited. The last subtype, which wasn't mentioned in this article, is lava bending. You would think that this subtype would fall under firebending, but that's not the case at all. Lava bending is a specialized sub-skill of earthbending that allows the user to manipulate molten earth. This rare ability allows the bender to phase change earth into lava, lava into earth, and otherwise manipulate existing lava with great dexterity. Lastly, we have firebending. Based loosely on East, South, and Southeast Asian cultures, such as Imperial Japan, the Fire Nation values strength, innovation, respect for elders, and the arts. As the fiercest and most technologically advanced side of the 100-Year War, the Fire Nation values drive and ambition, which is mirrored in its bending style. Based on the Northern Shaolin martial art, firebending uses swift, sharp, and direct movements. Unlike the other three bending types, firebending allows the bender to create its element from the energy within. Where air, water, and earth are present anywhere, fire is first created in the body, but firebenders can also manipulate pre-existing flame. Firebenders are typically offensive fighters, the most prominent moves being punches and kicks. Because their power comes from the sun, firebenders are stronger during the daytime. Firebending was taught to the humans by the dragons, who have become nearly extinct due to the Fire Nation's ambition, leading them to slaughter the species. In Avatar The Last Airbender, firebending has an especially wide variety of subtypes, all of which are exceptionally dangerous. Lightning generation is the ability to create lightning by separating positive and negative energy inside the body, then directing it out through the fingertips. This subtype is difficult to master, as it requires mental and spiritual peace within the bender. A similar technique, lightning redirection, allows the bender to let the lightning pass through their body safely. The technique was created as a defensive move and was developed through the study of waterbending movements. Lightning redirection proves that learning techniques from only one nation limits what a bender can do. One other subtype is combustion, a mysterious subset of firebending that allows the bender to direct explosions from a third eye tattoo on the forehead. This is a type of telekinetic firebending, using chi gathered at the forehead and heating the surrounding air to create an explosive beam of energy. Only a few benders have been known to use this technique. This is the insight into the four nations, their bending types, and their subtypes. Keep in mind we didn't include a bending type, which is identified as energy bending. That's because we were focusing on the main elements and their subtypes, and energy bending is a more controversial topic due to people including it as a fifth element. One of the creators, Brian Konietzko, in the book Avatar The Last Airbender. The art of the animated series addressed this and said, and I quote, "People often assume the four-element theory we brought to bending is exclusive to ancient Greece, and that in ancient China only a five-element theory was used. In our research, we found the four-element theory was prevalent in ancient cultures all over the world, including ancient Buddhist teachings. While the five-element theory is interesting in its own right, we were attracted to the universality of the four simple elements. Although we can't ignore this bending type is one of the most important due to it being the solution to Avatar Aang's biggest issue, which was him not wanting to eliminate Fire Lord Ozai, we don't include an explanation to it because it isn't focused on the four elements. Tell me, what's your opinion on this? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.